Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 2. Early Humans. Knowledge acquisition. Our planet Earth is more than 4 billion years old. Though human life probably began 2 million years ago, it went through a long period of evolutions. Modern humans appeared on the Earth as recently as 40,000 years ago. Let us see how early settlements were formed and human life progressed. In the beginning, man did not know how to read and write. This period stretched over a long period of about 2 million years. It may be difficult for you to visualize a billion or even a million years. Look at the pictures below that show how the first human evolved. You can see from the picture that he looked different at every stage. A large part of this prehistoric period is called the Stone Age. During the Stone Age, people made and used stone tools and weapons. The entire period may have lasted till as recently as 4,000 years ago. The Stone Age can be divided into 4 periods. 1. The Old Stone Age, Paleolithic Age. 2. The Middle Stone Age, Mesolithic Age. 3. The New Stone Age, Neolithic Age. 4. Copper Stone Age, Chalcolithic Age. The Stone Age was followed by the Chalcolithic Age when humans used stones as well as metal. Paleolithic Age. This age is also known as hunting and food gathering stage. This was the longest part of prehistory. It lasted from 5 lakhs BC to 10,000 BC approximately. Men, women and children wandered in groups and hunted animals. They ate raw food. They also gathered fruits, roots and honey because they did not know to grow crops. They were food gatherers and hunters. They moved from place to place in search of food and water and lived in rock shelters, caves and on river banks. They made rough stone weapons to kill animals. Life was indeed difficult for them. The 2 major achievements of this period were the making tools and discovery of fire. Tools. Early man used flint for making tools. Hunting during this stage would have been difficult because many animals were much stronger than men. So they devised tools. They found stones and shaped them into hand axes. These were probably used for hunting, digging and cutting. They made scrapers and knives with blades of sharp stones to remove flesh from animal skins. A special type of stone called flint was used. Animals' bones and other stones were also to make sharp tools. How do we know all this? These tools have been found in many places such as Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh, Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh and Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. Fire. Sometimes during this period people discovered fire. Perhaps they rubbed stones and the spark produced, lighted a few dry leaves lying nearby. It could also have been a forest fire or a volcanic eruption that gave them access to fire. They might have enjoyed the cooked meat of the dead animals. So, probably they looked for a way to make fire. Fire also kept them warm during the winter months. It gave them light at night. Animals could be scared off with torches. Mesolithic Age. The Mesolithic Age was a period of transition from the Old Stone Age to New Stone Age, which dates from around 10,000 BC to about 8,000 BC. In this stage, men continued to hunt and gather food. Women cleaned dead animals, looked after babies, collected plant food and participated in hunting small animals. Slowly, they learned to tame animals. The dog became the first pet. Then they domesticated goats, sheep and cattle. They began to make better tools called microliths. The tools became sharper and more efficient than the earlier tools. These were tiny stone pieces used as arrowheads and blades which were sharper and more refined than earlier tools. Some Mesolithic sites have been discovered at Bagar in Rajasthan. Neolithic Age. A major event happened between 8000 BC and 4000 BC and that changed human life refined. It was a great landmark in the history of man. It was the discovery of agriculture. Humans learned the technique of sowing seeds, growing plants, and then finally harvesting them. This discovery affected human life in many ways. They gave up their nomadic life and became food producers. People now had a steady supply of food grains and vegetables and did not have to depend on hunting only. They learned to grow crops such as barley, wheat, rice, pulses, a variety of vegetables, and even cotton. They now domesticated animals for a variety of purposes. Goats and cattle provided milk. Sheep provided wool. The donkey was reared for carrying loads. Dogs guarded their huts. Men, women, and children now needed to live in houses near the farms. So they built small huts made of mud, thatch, and reed. In some places, they lived in dwelling pits. In India, Neolithic sites have been found at Maski in Karnataka and Burzahom in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you know? Agriculture is believed to have first started in the foothills of the Tagros Mountains of Iran and Iraq about 8,000 to 10,000 years ago. Making of pottery. The early people had no utensils to cook food. So they smothered clay and made pots with their hands. They dried these pots in the sun and made them harder. Later, they hardened the pots by firing them in a kiln and also began to glaze and decorate them. People's needs increased and they also had the time to invent new things. They discovered how to spin thread and then weave it into cloth. They might have made the spindle and early versions of a loom. Invention of wheel. It is believed that the wheel was invented in the New Stone Age. This was indeed a great invention by man. The wheel had many uses. People could now make wheeled carts to transport heavier things and even people. The wheel helped to make better pots. You must have seen a potter pile up clay on top of his wheel and shape it as he rotates it to make jars, vases, etc. In the same way, early humans made pottery. Later, people made the spinning wheel to spin thread. So, the first means of transport started with the invention of wheel. Prehistoric art. It is hard to believe that early people were great artists. As they took shelter in the caves during cold nights, they painted on its walls. They made running animals, dead ones with arrows struck in, and birds. By painting hunting scenes, they expressed their feelings. They might have thought pictures were magical, or they might have painted whatever they wanted to. Some fascinating paintings have been discovered at Lascaux in France, Altamira in Spain, and Bhimbetka in India. They used brown, red, and white colors, and sometimes even yellow and green. These were natural colors found in trees, stones, minerals, flowers, and charcoal. Chalcolithic Age. Man's progress from the Old Stone Age to the New Stone Age was a process of gradual evolution, that is, an improvement in the technique of living with such discoveries, such as fire and cultivation of crops. But one major discovery that proved a vital leap in the direction of modern civilization was the discovery and use of metals. How and when people discovered metals is not clear. By the use of metals, their tools became sharp and they could now clear large forests with a metal axe. How the early people learned to take out the ore and give it shape is still a mystery. The period when metal was used along stone is called Chalcolithic Age. The first metal discovered was copper. Chalco, chalkos, in Greek means copper. They could now make utensils and even jewelry with metal. This period was short but important as humans progressed from the Stone Age to the Age of Metals. Religious beliefs. We do not know exactly to whom or how early humans worshipped. Many cave paintings have been discovered in France, Spain, and India. From the cave painting, we can guess that the early people were great artists. Maybe they did not understand natural happenings such as sunrise, sunset, cloud formation, rain, or even forest fires. The thing that confused them the most was death and what happened after that. They buried the body along with the things used by the person. They may have thought that the person was going on another journey and would need things like pots and clothes. From being nomads and food gatherers, early humans had progressed to the settled life of food producer. They now started discovering new methods of doing things which made their life more comfortable. But still they lacked one thing. They did not know how to write. Writing came at a later stage. Keywords: evolution, slow development and change. Domesticate, to tame. Clean, a furnace. Thatch, roof covering of thick straw, reeds or palm leaf. Spindle, a thin rod for making thread. Loom, a machine for weaving cloth. Sickle, the instrument or tool used for cutting crops. Let's revise. Continuous review. The Stone Age is divided into 4 periods: Paleolithic Age, Mesolithic Age, Neolithic Age, Chalcolithic Age. In the Paleolithic Age or the Old Stone Age, man lived like a nomad, did hunting and gathered food from place to place. The fire was the most important discovery in the Paleolithic Age. The Neolithic Age or the New Stone Age began with the discovery of agriculture. The wheel was the most important invention in the Neolithic Age and it had various uses. Humans started using metals in the Chalcolithic Age.
Like, share and subscribe.